been a medic with a young girl dying in front of you. That hurt.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's the one where I struggle with all the time.
Yeah.
I still see her. So I was seeing her black eyes. There was nothing there, you know what I mean? You know, and I still see her black eyes. And so that's why I struggle from switching over from, you know, because my daughter was that age.
Yeah.
And, you know, we are taught to protect children and women, aren't we? You know, that's just what's bred into us.
Yeah.
And when something goes wrong like that, and you can't do nothing.
Hello and welcome back to podcast number 3. So we're really excited to bring you this podcast. Like we said before, other ones have gone really well. So I'd like to start off by saying that thank you to the Gresham Inn pub in Dawlish for sponsoring this podcast. We really appreciate it. And go check them out. It's a really nice pub. They've also got a pub in Dawlish Warren, the Warren Bridge Inn. Do amazing food there. So if you ever want to go get some food, go there. But yeah, so the Gresham Inn, really appreciate you. So thanks. As always, we've got Paul.
Hi.
Simon.
Hey, guys.
And we have actually got another guest on our pod this time around, and it's Ross.
All right.
So Ross is going to come on and talk about his issues he's had mentally. Is it the army? He used to be in the army, is that right? Yeah. Medic.
Combat medical technician. Yeah. Medic.
So we're going to chat about that. So without further ado, let's get into it and let's crack on with that. So anybody else got anything to add before we start? Or
No, just,
you're all good?
Like I say, I spoke to Ross after the first podcast. He messaged me and shown his interest. Yeah. And obviously we were getting things together and I dropped him a message. We're old school friends. That's how we unfortunately know each other. Had to put up with me when we were younger.
Long time ago.
Saw his name pop up and thought, oh no, what's happened?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But yeah, so Ross was keen to come on and talk about his military time and like his PTSD and CPTSD. So yeah, we've got him on board and we're here today to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, just to say thanks for coming on board. Nice to meet you.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's not always easy talking about stuff and opening it up, but it's good that you're here and wanting to share and just share your story. So
I think where I'm at with PTSD now, I'm only 10 years in, so I'm at that stage now I can talk about it. I can share my experiences.
Yeah.
You know, in the early days, you know, when I first got diagnosed, or even pre-diagnosis, I couldn't talk to anybody about this. So it's just nice having that platform now where, you know, we can share.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a lot of guys out there who are probably struggling, who are in that position where they can't talk, they're locking it up. Yeah. So like having you on here and sharing your story is going to be a real positive for those guys. So I know there's lads out there that I know personally who are
100%.
Struggling.
Yeah, I know people.
Yeah.
So like hopefully this will give them that push to move in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. Hearing just what someone else goes through, like even if it's not, you know, like you can have an idea of what someone goes through, but personally for yourself, your journey, your experience, you know, it's just yeah.
And PTSD also as well. It's like it can be anything, can't it? So it's not. You also obviously comes from your work, your job. But I know people that are going through that from completely the opposite. You know, it could be as simple as being abused as a child or having a car accident or something along those lines, and they're suffering now. So I think it's really good, although yours is fixed to this point of being in the army.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are going to relate to how you feel because it's going to be the same issues. People are going to go through the same struggles through it. So let's start off by, where did it start for you? So joining the army, how old you were and when you started?
I joined the army in 2005. Pre-army, I struggled a little bit, struggled in school, struggled with my grades, couldn't quite fit in, couldn't find a job, which I really, really enjoyed. Come across the careers office in Torquay, went in just for a look, and that was it really. I was hooked. They try to sell you the world. But
Yeah.
yeah, they really, really do.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to be a medic. You know, they told me that you'd be a paramedic. And I thought, wow, this is going to be great. So I joined, did my training in 2005, phase 1 and then phase 2. Fantastic. I absolutely loved the military. You know, it gave me a purpose. It gave me everything I was looking for in myself and in a job. I love my fitness. Military gives you fitness, gives you purpose, teaches you how to relearn. Where I struggled so hard in school to learn. My grades were awful, but in the military, I excelled. So through basic training, I become best recruit, best shot, and best PT. Phase 2, then I was best student. So I was excelling because it was something I really was passionate about and what I wanted to do. I then obviously left my training and then I went to my unit. My first unit was up in Catterick, so I was miles away from home. Quickly after I went to unit, then we went to Belize, and that's when I really had my first casualty in Belize. Full facial burns, hair gone, everything gone. And I thought, wow, this is it. This is real now. Come back from Belize, and in 2007 we went to Iraq. Very naive before going. You know, you don't really know what's going to go on.
Yeah.
You hear stories, you chat to the lads who've been before, but you never really put that into your forefront of your mind until you're there. The night before we flew in, I can remember my OC saying, some of you won't return. And that's when you really start switching on. You start going,
that's a bold statement. That,
so we all had to write death letters.
Jeez.
Trying to write a death letter to home. And at this time, I didn't have any children. I had a girlfriend at the time. So it wasn't too bad, you know what I mean? You know. And then I went to Iraq. I was only a private when I went to Iraq. So the responsibilities weren't all there. You know what I mean? You know, I had some responsibilities, but they weren't as much as my second tour. From day one, landing in Iraq, we was mortared. Iraq and Afghan are completely different beasts, where we were getting mortared all the time in Iraq, where Afghan it was more kinetic, it was more IEDs and firefights, things like that, where my Iraq tour was mortars more. I did have lots of casualties, lots of primary health, some low-level traumas as well. However, you know, we got mortared 54 times in one day there.
Just in case for anyone, like mortar, what's mortar?
So a mortar is a round they fire, and it explodes.
Right.
It's a large round which they fire.
Okay.
Out of either big cannon or tubes.
Right. Oh yeah. Okay.
And the way they land, so they land and they like when they explode upwards.
Okay.
So the drill is as soon as you hear the mortar sirens go off, you hit the deck.
Yeah.
And there's that meme on social media at the moment where you see like day one when you go on tour, you're there with your helmet on, you're thinking, like, Christ, what's going on? And day 58, you're laying in your bed going, oh, we are again. There was one time though, I've only ever prayed to God once. I'm not religious, but there's one time, middle of the desert, we leagued up, and there was the REME vehicle, there was the ambulance, and then we dig in, so shallow little graves where you can get underneath the explosions. And there was a couple other vehicles, and we were mortared. And when it came in, it hit the rescue vehicle, hit the ambulance. So they were training in on us, and then it jumped, and then hit the other vehicles.
Wow.
So it missed us, like 8 or 9 of us in the two pits, and then went the other side. So that's a trauma on its own. You know what I mean? So when we talk about traumas, you know, it doesn't have to be the blood, the guts. You know, it could be things like that.
So you're lucky to be here, and you know, in that respect,
I mean, we were all lucky, to be fair. You know, the way they were bringing them in, you know, that's it. That's the first time I thought, okay, this is pretty serious now. You know what I mean? You know,
this is real.
This is real. This is like, I pray to God, and I literally just laid there praying to God, going, I just want to go home.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the tour went pretty okay. You know, tours are tours. You know, it's been away from home for like 6-7 months is the hardest part, to be fair, on the tour, because your loved ones at home. You know, your life just stops.
Yeah.
And then you got to come back and get used to becoming back into the society again.
Yeah, and that's got to be hard.
It is really hard. The hardest part is, so when you finish a tour, say in Iraq, Afghan, wherever you are in the world, you normally fly to Cyprus for 2 days, and it's called decompression.
Yeah.
All it is, you're locked in a camp, give you beer, and away you go. Some lads fight, some lads piss the bed, some lads, it's horrendous. You know what I mean? All you want to do is come home.
Yeah.
You have a tiny bit of mental health PowerPoints you've got to go through, a little talk with the mental health nurses, but you don't want it. You know what I mean? You just want to go home. You just been away for 7 months. I just want to go home and see my family.
Yeah.
It's the wrong time. Do that sort of mental health brief, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Should happen a couple of weeks after you come back, really. But,
yeah, you must be. I mean, to process what you've been through. I mean, you just need that space. Don't you? You just need to
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Yeah.
So that was Iraq. Then I promoted pretty quickly. Then I went down to work with 29 Commando in Plymouth. Absolutely loved being down in 29 Commando. You know, one, because I had a promotion. I was Lance Corporal at the time. You know, their fitness down there is another level. You're doing fitness like twice a day.
Yeah, I'm into my fitness quite a lot.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Yeah, you know what I mean? You know. and I absolutely loved it down there. So I was running the med centre. I worked with some great lads before we went to Afghan. Pre-Afghan, though, we did a load of civilian courses. So we were smashing these courses at the park where like doctors and paramedics were all failing it. We weren't. We were just smashing traumas. Because that's what we knew. We knew trauma more than anything else. Yeah. So I think for my Afghan tour, we were prepped. We were ready. You know what I mean? You know, we were ready for anything that come along. And we did a lot of peds as well. So like, children courses, because you do get a lot of civilian casualties, unfortunately. And this was in 2011. I went to Afghanistan. And this is when I feel that it went wrong for me.
That's your second tour, did you say?
My second tour. Yeah. I felt that I was mentally strong. I had lads working underneath me. I had a bit of responsibility. And yeah, I was ready for it. I only found out after that I wasn't ready. You know, my job originally in Afghan was to go around and check out all the junior medics in the checkpoints. And for the first couple of months I was doing that. So I was a patrol medic. So any operations going on, and then I'll go and join the operation, be the medic, and fly back, and then go and make sure the other lads' welfare was okay. One of the medics got blown up in the checkpoint. I took her place. Within that checkpoint, then it was just constant casualties, from civilian casualties to obviously military casualties.
What did you deal with more, civilian casualties or more troop casualties?
Both, 50-50 to be fair.
Yeah.
Because, the casualties you were seeing, some of them were just silly things like cut leg. Another guy shot himself through the foot. It's just like, I was thinking, you idiots, what are you doing that for? And then you had the serious ones, double amps, single amps, dealt with children as well. So that was Afghan. Again, you came back from Afghan.
Yeah.
2 days in Cyprus. And like I say, it was so much more kinetic Afghan was.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with so many more casualties in Afghan.
Yeah.
Those 2 days just wasn't enough. You know what I mean? You spent 20 minutes presentation with
you've just seen stuff that no one should see.
Yeah.
And you just like...
Put in front of a telly to watch a few bloody clips.
Yeah. Made it even worse in Afghan as well, because at the time, I had a wife and my daughter. My daughter was 6 months old when I left.
Right.
Bless her. I missed her first birthdays. I missed her first steps. It hurts, when you miss
100%, yeah.
You miss those important milestones in your child's life. So so I come back, and then I picked another promotion up, and then I was due to go back out to Afghan again. I was like, no, I can't do it again.
Yeah,
I wasn't right. You know what I mean? When I come back to the UK, even the lads were like, mate, what's going on? You're not right. The doctor I was working with, because I'm a medic, I worked with a doctor. He then sent me down to Drake, which is like tri-service mental health unit, just to get a check out, because he said, look, mate, you're not right. I didn't see that in myself. They saw that in me. And that's when I first
what did they think? Like, what were the signs?
So originally they said that, I was just taking it out on the lads, taking all the stuff out on the lads, where before we had such a tight little unit in the med centre.
So, like, would you say you were more chilled and like...
I was, yeah.
It was sort of, you were like
Snappy,
like a bit angry.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean?
Out of character.
I just could be out of character for me.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see that.
Mm.
And that's the thing with mental health.
Well, you were stuck in the moment.
You don't know.
You wouldn't, would you?
Yeah. With the mental health side of it, you don't know. When you're first going through first symptoms, the first signs, you haven't got a clue what's going on.
Yeah.
You really, really don't. But people around you, loved ones around you, they're the ones that will see you, who for you, you are. So that was my military experience in a nutshell, But like I say, I love my military experience.
Yeah.
And I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. Coming out to civvy world is even harder.
Yeah.
But that's just another level, from...
You got to like reintegrate yourself. I know lads who have come out of the army and they've struggled massively to like fit in with society, because that routine you've got in the forces, which people thrive on, has been taken away from you, and you sort of lost, don't you?
Yeah.
You haven't got that purpose what you had in the forces.
There was no purpose at all, and because you come out had a rank, there was structure,
there
was discipline, there was so much to keep you safe, really.
And that's it's almost like in life, some people need that to thrive. Like, I know I can be I've been guilty of that. Like, sometimes you forget your purpose, don't you? And it's easy to lose your way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I came out, and then I worked at a mental health hospital. I did that for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And now I am. But pre that, the transition period coming out to working in the hospital, it was really, really hard.
Yeah.
So, like, with your qualifications being a medic there, could you have not come out and worked, as a paramedic, or was that something that you wanted to just come away from?
No. So I looked into going Plymouth University.
Yeah.
And because I didn't have the A's to the C grades, which they wanted at the time, they wouldn't allow me to join.
Even though you've got all that experience, like front line as well. You would have thought they'd be biting your hand off.
Yeah,
no,
I
think so.
Not at all. It was only when I came out and worked in the hospital, then I got my GCSEs.
Yeah.
I went and did a foundation degree. You know what I mean? So then I can go do it now, but
You're done with that.
I'm done with that.
Which is understandable, isn't it?
And I love my job now. I wouldn't ever change what I work. I currently work for a company called Steps Ahead, and we do brain injury, specialise in brain injury. I'm the PBS lead there, so positive behavioural support there.
Yeah.
Teach first aid at work.
Awesome.
I absolutely love my job, and they're so supportive.
That's
They are,
good.
and that's what you've got to find with
with
what we're going through. You've got to find somewhere that are supportive, so they know me. They know my triggers. They know when I'm unwell. They know what to do when I'm unwell.
Yeah.
And I can't fault them at all. So that was my military and my employment now in a bit of a nutshell.
Yeah.
I can talk about it for hours, to be fair. Literally.
Well, you're in the right place for it.
Yeah. Being a medic, I just found I absolutely love being a medic. I absolutely love helping people. I love treating people. You're doing hearts and minds to the locals. It was great.
Yeah.
It was such a sense of well-being and belonging as well. You know what I mean? And then people are looking at you. So when something goes wrong, you're it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The lads I worked with in Afghan were fantastic. They were all trained as well.
Yeah.
So they were team medic trained. So not a medic, but like first aid at work, but in the military times. And they responded so well. So every casualty we had, they were with me and they worked alongside me and they were great. They really helped save lives. You know what I mean? And I walked into one checkpoint, and do you remember Mark from school?
Mark
Proctor?
Oh, yeah.
He was there.
Right.
He was in the checkpoint. I walked in, I thought, oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that could have gone both ways. If he got hurt, then coming home to the family, telling the family that.
Oof, yeah.
But yeah, it was so surreal walking to the middle of Afghan. I haven't seen Mark, I haven't seen Paul for
that's
you for
mad.
long. And he
I
was
didn't
there.
even realise he was in the military.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
He joined the joined the rifles.
Oh,
And
right,
I didn't
fair
know.
play.
He was just there, like, oh my god,
Yeah,
Wow.
what's the real
that's mad.
what's happening on? So yes, that's my that's my military career. You know, I did loads in the military. I loved it. And, you know, I'm very proud of what I'd done in the military.
So coming out of the military, what help is out there? What support, apart from the videos you watch when you're decompressing, was there any help? Was there any support that?
No, not for me at the time. I came out in 2013 and there wasn't a lot around. You know, not at all.
So you said back when you were at Plymouth, the doctor said,
Yeah.
go and get checked. So when you got checked, what was the process there?
So it was over like 3 or 4 weeks. I had, that's one of my first EMDR.
Yeah.
At the time, though, I wasn't ready for therapy because I
Right.
didn't know what was going on myself.
No.
So it was just go and see the mental health nurses, have a chat with them. And they just said they put it down to me coming back from Afghan and trying to get back into normal life again, get back
Right.
into that routine. I was struggling. That's where I was struggling to.
Yeah. So
Switch.
they didn't recognise that there was actually
No.
an issue at that point.
But with PTSD, usually it happens like 6 to a year, 2, 3, 4 years after the actual event.
Yeah.
And because it was a few weeks after,
Obviously.
it was too soon. You know what I mean? You know, they didn't know what was going on with me. They didn't know me as a person. So it was very much like it was too soon to try to get therapy. I didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? You know.
So sorry, jumping the gun. So from that, obviously that was the first like hurdle, so called. So like when you did go back into civvy life,
Yeah.
at what point did you go down that road of getting your diagnosis? Like after we're saying about what help was out there, how did you go down that road to being where you are now?
A long road.
Yeah.
Very, very, very long road. So when I worked at the hospital, I was suspended. My behaviour was really bad. I didn't know myself. And it was a social worker in the hospital who recognised I've got PTSD.
Right. Okay. And I remember we had a brief call before this pod. I remember you saying like with your anger outbursts, was that what?
Absolutely. Yeah. It was. I couldn't control the anger. I got accused of doing steroids because they thought I was in the gym all the time trying to use that a bit as a get out.
Like roid rage.
Yeah, roid rage. When I really wasn't. I was just out of control.
Yeah.
I was just, I was really hard to manage.
And
also
self-destruct.
Absolutely.
Effectively.
You just press that button, that self-destruct
Yeah.
button, and you just.
So obviously within that, like there was obviously what you went through, because it sounds like when you, like you say, taking someone else's position, you know, like you said about that woman who got blown up and you had to go into that position, which must have been challenging in itself.
Yeah.
And then like the decision, do you want to be here for your kids? Was there a lot with the transition of coming out? Like,
so they put it, so I need to explain why I've got PTSD, I think. And then you'll see why the whole story is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I struggle with kids. Okay. So, my PTSD is never around double amps or soldiers getting hurt. Okay. So I dealt with a young girl who had a skin peel and a fractured skull, and she died. And they put it down to my daughter, that thing where I was just thinking about my daughter all the time. And that's why I can't get over that. The military are very, very good at training you up to be the best you can be. So you think you're up here all the time. You don't fail. You know what I mean? Your training kicks in. You know, they're very, very good at this. The military are fantastic at that. You don't think, you just do. This girl came into the checkpoint and I froze.
Civilian, was this?
Civilian. She fell off her uncle's scooter. So in Afghanistan, it's crazy. You see these scooters going around with like 6 people on a little little scooter. She fell off the scooter. She had a skull skin peel from like here upwards. I I froze. I was trained to deal with this, you know what I mean? You know, and there's nothing I could have done. As in, I just didn't know what to do. Being a medic with a young girl dying in front of you, that hurt.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's the one where I struggle with all the time.
Yeah.
I still see her. So I was seeing her black eyes. There was nothing there, you know what I mean? You know, and I still see her black eyes. So that's why I struggle from switching over from, you know, because my daughter was that age.
Yeah.
And, you know, we are taught to protect children and women, aren't we? You know, that's just what's bred into us.
Yeah.
And when something goes wrong like that, and you can't do nothing, even though that I've had loads of therapy around it, and they will say that there's nothing you could have done, Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not how
But that's not how I'm programmed.
You feel, you know, like you feel powerless in that moment, you know, like hopeless.
Failure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's your job. You save people, and unfortunately, you couldn't save her.
No.
Yeah.
And again, you know, like your therapist probably said, that's out of your hands. That's something that can't be changed. But at the time, it feels a failure because you couldn't change it.
Oh, no. Yeah. And also over there, it's even worse that if what I've done with the girl, I sent her back to Bastion. I sent her back, even though she was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though she was dead, I shouldn't have done that.
Which you're not allowed to do, right?
No. You can send back locals to be treated because that's hearts and minds.
Yeah.
But if I gave it back to the family, I can guarantee I would have seen her in a wadi. Wadis are like irrigation ditches, like the one outside. You know. I can, because over there they don't respect women.
Yeah.
And it would have been just thrown in a wadi, and I couldn't have that. You know what I mean? You know.
No.
So I sent her back. Got a bit of telling off for that, to be fair, but
yeah, but you know, that's your care.
That's me. You know what I mean? You know.
Yeah, but in your head, you were just because with my little girl, I'd be thinking like, if that was my daughter, you know, I'd want, even though you haven't been able to save her, you just want the best for her, don't you?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I can remember giving her my daughter at the time, which I say she was only 6 months, but she had In the Night Garden, Ickle Pickle. Do you remember that little thing with that red? And my ex-wife at the time, she put my daughter's face on the blanket type thing. So I remember cutting the blanket off and giving the little girl the teddy bear to go back with. You know what I mean? Even though she died, but that's the bad thing about the military. That's the hard thing about them is you deal with kids. You deal with these innocent people who are mixed up in war.
Yeah.
So that's my PTSD is majority around her. Yeah.
Which is a big thing, isn't it? You think of everything you've been through and all the scenes that you've seen and all the struggles you've had, that one moment in time destroyed part of your brain, so to speak. You know, that's going to be with you and dealing with that. And obviously you're dealing with it well now, which is great. And you can talk about it, which is brilliant. But it just amazes me that one instance has changed your life forever. That's crazy.
But that's any trauma for anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, that one traumatic event can change your life. You know, you know, and yes, military, you're going to see more of that. Your parent not being very well or something that's traumatic. You know what I mean? You know, in a car crash, trauma for everybody is different. It's not linear.
And we all deal with things differently. Some people can handle more than others, you know. Some are more sensitive than others. There's no one's the same, are they? So, you know.
Like you say, you can try. Just one thing I want to just say is that I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Like, you know.
No one should have to go through that.
It's just, like you say, when you're there to be the best and you train so hard and like you're excelling in everything that you're doing, and then you can't do that, like you say, just feeling like you should be able to do everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard when, like you say, that failure comes in, that you're not able to do any, you know, for some reason the body takes over and you're not able to do something. But and the mind, and it gets stuck.
Being a medic though is really hard.
Yeah.
It could be the best job in the world. It really, really can be. It could be fantastic. Honestly, when you start treating people and they're surviving, and it's a great job.
Yeah.
It really, really is. And I absolutely loved my job.
Yeah.
And then you get the bad side of it, the negative side of it is the deaths, the injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, my last patrol out in Afghan, we dealt with double amp and then a single amp as well. So missing legs. And then, but those lads, they're going to be going through this.
That's the horrible thing though about like a war situation. It's not like, it's not something you can train for.
No.
We're very lucky, like there's not war in this country.
Yeah.
But what you say?
Yet.
The thing is, though, you can come across a car crash.
Yeah.
And limbs gone or something's happened to them. You could come across someone in a minute on the way home and then you have to deal with it,
Yeah.
And it's about how to deal with that. It's about how to process that.
Yeah.
Well,
like I say, everyone's different in
Yeah.
how they deal with things.
Yeah.
If like some people are more empathetic than others, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really thought I was strong mentally. I really, really did. And it was only a couple of years after I left the military, then that's when it started to go wrong for me.
Yeah.
In big time. Hard.
Yeah.
I guess like all of us in that same situation, you think I've always been a happy guy, the bubbly guy, I still am now, but I never thought that I'd have mental health issues at all. Never in my life. And I always think, what have I got to be sad about or depressed about? But it's just one of those switches in your head that happened, and it's happened, and and it is what it is. And I think it's similar. You think you're built, and a lot of people think they're built invincible.
Yeah.
But when you get put in front, these things get put in front of you, they are trauma. You know what I mean? Like you said, that little girl, I guess you have flashbacks of...
Yeah. So my first exposure to my PTSD and so I was getting my flashbacks, withdrawal symptoms. I was very angry. I was very, very, very angry, short with people. Coming back in I couldn't go out drinking because the drink would make it even worse. So now I don't drink. You know what I mean? There was lots going on. I don't get the flashbacks so much anymore. Where I was getting them all the time before.
Was that affecting? So I remember we spoke briefly in the call we had. Was that affecting your sleep and
all the time? Yeah.
And we spoke about how you got over that, like grounding techniques.
Yeah.
And that was quite interesting to hear about that.
Yeah. So I learned very quickly with sleep. Sleep is one of the most important things for any mental health condition.
Yeah.
You've got to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
So with me, and now I sleep on the sofa or on the floor. I'm doing a lot of work around that.
Yeah.
However, when I was really unwell, sleep on the floor would ground me.
Yeah.
Because then you can feel that you're here, you're alive, you're safe, you're well. You can feel the floor around you. And it was something to do with that, which then helped me sleep. There is a negative side of that, though, is not sleeping in the bed with your partner. You know what I mean? So then that will affect them. But sometimes it's about being a little bit selfish, and you've got to look after yourself first before you can look after someone else, So I would sleep on the floor. However, that's spun a little bit. Now I get a little bit anxious about going back upstairs because I don't want to have my flashbacks again. So
Right.
My brain associates bed. That's where I used to get my flashbacks.
Yeah.
Night terrors.
Night terrors.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a little bit of work on that at the moment, but the floor, the sofa, I know that I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I can sleep. And if I am getting the odd flashback when I'm down there, I just know that, Ross, you're okay.
Yeah.
You're here. This is your now. You're not there. So I do a lot of grounding through that.
Yeah.
Like you say, sleep for me is so important.
Definitely.
Routine, sleep hygiene is so important.
Yeah. And unfortunately, in most cases, not all, but most, they're the ones that seem to sort of go first, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
You're sleep deprived, your health, you stop showering, your oral health and all that just goes downhill, because that's what happened with me. I just didn't want to
Yeah.
I didn't want to have a shower. I couldn't sleep. I was up all night and I was pacing around everywhere. And it wasn't until I got a handle on it and I started taking my medication, I started sleeping better. I mean, my sleep's still not great now, but my body's come to adjust just with the sleep. But I know when I've not had enough sleep, I feel rotten, absolutely rotten.
Yeah.
And I can feel my mind starting to sink, and I think, I need to sleep better. And it's funny how it's the same for sort of most,
all of them, to be fair.
Like, that seems to be.
Do you ever have like days where you just wake up and you just think today's going to be a bad day?
Yeah.
Like, I just need to get today out of the way, and then we go again tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot. So, I think some of the days that they're going to be more stressful than others.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, I've had no sleep. How am I going to go cope in this meeting? Or how am I going to cope with...
Do you get anxious before those days? So obviously
Always.
that compounds everything, because that's running in your mind.
Always. Every other Tuesday I have this like big meeting with all the MDTs and that lot.
Yeah.
I don't sleep before it.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just the anxiety kicks in, and then you think, oh my God, I've got to cope with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I say the wrong thing at the wrong time, and then, like I said, I'm almost 10 years into this now. So I know my body.
Yeah.
I know me.
And that's an important thing, which I've learned as well with my mental health, is understanding yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the most important thing.
Yeah.
You know, because if you don't understand yourself, you don't realise when you are slipping, for instance, do you?
Definitely. And with any therapy, any PTSD therapy or any mental health, you've got to want help.
Yeah.
You've got to be
100%.
ready for help as well.
Yeah.
Where in the early days, I wasn't ready because I didn't know I was unwell.
Yeah.
I didn't know that actually, Ross, this is not you. You know what I mean? It only took me a couple of years down the line. I sat back and, I'm in crisis here.
Yeah.
I need help. And, this ain't me. I can't live my life like this.
Yeah.
So when you say you're in crisis, where were you at with that?
So suicidal,
Yeah.
because I wasn't sleeping. I was very angry. My first marriage ruined through it, to be fair.
Yeah.
You're seeking adrenaline rushes. So you talk to more women, even though you wouldn't do anything, you jeopardize a lot of stuff. PTSD is the
Take
symptoms.
more risks.
Take more risks.
Yeah.
It's horrible. And then you get to the end, you go, you're so tired. I just didn't want to be around.
Really?
You know what I mean? It got to that point where I'm like, if I don't get help now,
Yeah.
this is going to be it. And it took me a long time to get the right help.
Yeah.
I've had lots of help, lots of therapies. It's an every therapy that you can probably think of.
Was this private or through NHS or?
Both. Both. So I've had some really, really good experiences with both, and I've some really bad experiences with both through NHS and private. So I've done EMDR, done 2 rounds of that now. I've done CBT, trauma-based CBT. I've done a rewind. I've done timeline therapy, talking to TalkWorks again. So it's just coming back around again. Things are coming back around. But the best one I've ever done was timeline therapy through the Warrior Program. So if anybody is struggling out there, the Warrior Program is a charity for military and ex-military.
Yeah.
It's 2 days of residential, but it was fantastic. That's the only one really which, I don't really plug many of them. But for me, it's a mix between both. So talking therapies and a little bit of your own stuff as well. And it really, really helped, And from that also, you see that because you're with 10, 20, 30 people in the same room, you can see that actually you're not the only one.
Yeah.
All these people here are struggling as well. And it brings it together really, and it helps you out a little bit more. Any therapy or any mental health illness, you can feel alone.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's not very nice.
No.
When you're stuck out on your own in your mind.
And you feel like, when you feel like that, you feel like people are constantly judging you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a nice place to be.
No. Yeah. Knowing that other people are, going through what you're going.
It does help.
Yeah.
It really, really, really does help.
On that 2 days, just out of interest, what happened in them 2 days? What sort of things did you do?
The first day is a bit about talking therapy. You bit of group work as well. You're chatting to other lads about their traumas. You can engage as much as you want to engage. And they make that clear on day one.
Yeah.
And it was great because you're chatting to people that have been in the Falklands. you're chatting to people that obviously are in Africa and Iraq. So the age group were massive, from like 7-year-olds down to like 19-year-olds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really, really good. Day 2 is timeline therapy.
Right.
So you work on different things like love, hate, and all depends what they want to work on at the time. But they take you all the way back from when you were a child, and then they try to think about like the first time you felt love as a child, and you bring it to the future. And so with PTSD, I'm not sure that people know what actually happens in the brain, but I like to think PTSD is in your brain. You've got a filing cabinet. So if someone hasn't got PTSD, they'll see a memory, and that night your brain will go, right, that one there will go into that part of the drawer. That there will go that part of the drawer, and then shut the drawer. With PTSD, what happens is the trauma and the memories there floating about, but your mind doesn't know which one to put it in. So it's always there. So, so something might happen in the day, boom, because your memory's there floating about, it picks it up straight away.
So that's kind of a way why you probably find it hard to shut off
Absolutely.
at night, because your head's just like a ping pong. Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
So it's not filed it away for later on to think about. It's just constantly floating around. So you're thinking about it because it's not been filed.
Absolutely. And the raw memories are attached to that. So everything is attached to those because they're not filed away.
Sounds similar to ADHD.
I was about to say,
and sometimes I got think my head's like ding, 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 ding.
There's association between the two.
Yeah, well, I did mention that. I read somewhere that there was a link, like obviously with ADHD and autism as well, like some people more empathetic, so they're more likely to be susceptible to things like trauma.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's that link. I mean, it's a minefield out there, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We do a lot of like mindfulness. They teach you that. They teach you breathing techniques. They teach you, the square breathing.
I think I need to learn some of that.
There's loads of stuff that you do before you go to sleep. That will help your mind to rest a little bit.
Yeah,
and then to put away the stuff that it can do before you go to sleep.
Yeah,
same with ADHD. You know what I mean? So it'll definitely help with you.
Yeah,
100% it will.
Something to look at, definitely.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But that's what timeline therapy does then. So it tries to get hold of that memory and tries to link it to something which, your first time you felt love, the first time you know what I mean? So it tries to put it away.
Yeah.
It worked really well. It worked really well for a while. I felt really, really good. But then it comes back and bites you again.
Yeah.
See, I like to think my PTSD is on a bit of a roller coaster, a bit of a circle.
Yeah.
Where the top of the circle, you're fine, you're on baseline. And then something happens, or you miss sleep, or stress kicks in, and you come off baseline again, and you come back into crisis, and then you go on baseline again. It's just a big circle. And my circles usually last about 6 months. Every 6 months, then I will get a flare up of, it could be anything that's caused it. I know what caused it this time, and then it could take even longer then to get back onto baseline again.
It's good that you can identify what has caused it. That's a good
important.
start. Yeah, that's a good, because then you've got a handle on something you can try and control, and you can change things in your life or change routines to try and fit in with.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken a long time for me to understand me. And this is why now I can talk about me and about my PTSD.
Yeah.
Because I'm ready for it. I'm ready to talk about it.
What sort of things, like obviously we're talking about understanding ourselves, and you've said like you've cut out alcohol. So obviously that's a negative, a depressant. So you're trying to be in as positive place as possible. What other things have you found which have benefited you to stay positive? I
think being around people that are supportive.
Yeah.
You go through life with a lot of friends, don't you? You know what I mean? And only a handful of your friends which will understand you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You really understand what's going on for you.
No.
Don't judge. You need to be around people that want to be with you.
And that's really hard to find. I know it sounds sad, but it really is in life.
You've got to find, if you're working, you've got to find someone that help you out. You might say the people I work for are fantastic. I've got 2 jobs, manage a gym, and they're fantastic.
Yeah.
And, steps ahead.
You find the gym helps as well?
Definitely. I've got to do something. I've got to be busy. I've got to keep fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fitness is it's always been big for me anyway.
Yeah.
Just helps me with my mind. I sit in the gym with headphones on. You know, I'm one of those that just stares at the wall. You know what I mean? You know, I'm one of those guys. You know, but
not like flexing your
no,
muscle.
no. I just sit there. Just people might think, what's he talking? You know.
I reckon he's been in the mirror a few times.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
A little selfie in the
I've got my own mirror in my office, mate. Don't worry. It's there. Yeah. So there's little things like that. Is you've got to protect yourself as much as you possibly can.
Definitely.
You know, and own it.
Yeah.
You've got to own your illness. You've got to really own it, because you're not ready. If you don't accept it, you know, and say, look, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
You need to raise your hand when you are struggling, because you can't bottle it up.
That's an interesting thing you say. Obviously, you got an illness, but you can't use that as an excuse, sort of thing.
Absolutely not.
You know, like you say, you've got to own it. You've understood yourself. You know your triggers. You're doing the best you can to be in the best place. Yeah. And obviously to be the best you can in society and that, you know? Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people can blame the mental health, but if you're an idiot, you know what I mean? You know,
well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I've been an idiot, I've been an idiot.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? And sometimes I've just got to put my, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I'm just being an idiot today.
Yeah, I've had plenty of days.
I get it all the time.
Yeah.
I got at work, I've got the couch. That if I get taken on the couch, mate, then I know that I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no.
Oh, I wish I had one of them.
I don't want to go on that couch again.
I'll be in trouble all the time.
Yeah. But like I say, you know, you've got to surround yourself with positive people.
Yeah.
You know, that are willing to accept you on your bad days, and then willing to accept you on your good days.
No, definitely.
You really, really do. And it really helps, because you know that no matter what, you're not judging me. You know, I'm judging myself.
Yeah.
I don't need you to judge me. I'm doing it myself, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I'm good at that.
Yeah. Have that compassion, like it's like a hug as such that's around you. So you can be exactly as you are. It doesn't matter, like you say, however you're being.
Yeah.
You know someone's got, and you can be exactly right, you know, and it gives you that space to just, you know, accept where you're at.
Absolutely. You know, and then you've got to reach out for help.
Yeah.
You've got to know the pathway. Unfortunately, it's quite hard.
Yeah, and I think that's where some people downfalls are. They struggle so much, and they can't find that help, or they struggle to get that help.
Yeah.
Hence why we do these podcasts. It's just to get it out there and just say, you know, the help is out there.
And I think as well, like you were saying, at your, before you went down the road of getting a diagnosis, you didn't recognise it. And then you probably had a point where you might have recognised it, but you didn't want to admit you had a problem.
Acceptance. So, yeah.
You know, and then you've got to the point where you've gone to get a diagnosis, and then you've gone down. So it is a long process, but a lot of people find it hard to like accept, and then they don't take that next step, and then they wonder why they keep going around in a vicious circle and struggling.
Absolutely. Well, the NHS will offer you TalkWorks, which it can be good, it can be bad.
You only get out what you put in.
100%.
You know, like you say, you've got to want to help yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not looking to move forward, you're not going to get where you need to be, are you?
No. But there is times where you are so deep in that hole, you just don't know how to get out.
No.
You know, I've had times where recently, so TalkWorks won't give me any trauma therapy at the moment.
Right.
Because I'm too high risk.
Right, okay.
That's interesting.
Too high risk, because once you disclose that you're suicidal, they shut you off completely.
Because they don't want to dig into what's causing that trauma in case it triggers something.
Yeah.
And that's understandable. You know?
Absolutely.
Did they put you onto someone that could help?
No. They say, we'll try again in 6 months.
Yeah, well.
And that's not helpful, but...
No, but equally, they don't want to be pressing them buttons. It's
all about risk assessment.
Yeah.
It's all about risk.
And that's good of them in that
absolutely.
respect.
And, you know, and to be fair, you know, I was the idiot. You know, I did things which I shouldn't have done, but I had to disclose that to them.
Yeah.
And if I didn't, and then they did start doing the trauma work.
Yeah.
They made it worse. It's all about, you know, limiting the risk, and they have to limit the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, but I'm going to go back in 6 months and do it again. You know what I mean? You know, and and get some more trauma work.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
because you got to keep at this. Therapy doesn't just happen once and then you're fixed.
No.
Especially with CPTSD.
Yeah, I was just going to come into that. So obviously with PTSD and then CPSD, how much more complex is that?
So the difference between the two really is one is more exposure to trauma. So someone that has been abused as a child over a prolonged amount of period would probably be more CPTSD than someone that was just PTSD.
Right, okay.
PTSD can be one traumatic event, one or two singular traumatic events, or, it could be anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with C, it's more enjoyed it a lot longer. So they put me down as C because I've got more than one trauma.
Yeah.
I've got, and the traumas that I've been dealing with, is, there's quite a lot. Being a medic, there's 10, 15 traumas.
Yeah.
Each time you have a casualty, that could be a trauma. That's why they put it down as C.
Yeah.
Is because I was a medic, and then I've got quite extent amount of traumas.
Yeah.
Where if it's just someone else on the street, it would be, it's the amount of period they have that trauma for. So like you say, if someone's abused, they could be abused over 10, 15 years.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. Yeah,
So,
'cause I didn't know the difference.
Yeah, there's a couple of other little things, but that's the main one that really splits the two apart.
Okay.
However, the treatment pathway is the same.
Right.
Pretty much the same. And the support network's the same. There's so many support networks out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's tons. You use social media.
Do you find speaking to other people is a positive, or
It helps me out massively.
Does that not trigger sometimes, or is it?
It does a little bit. So, like, more prepared than that. I might not sleep very well because I've spoken about my traumas.
Right, okay.
But what you get, the sense of actually you're helping out someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the positive outweighs.
The positives come out,
Yeah.
And that's you're looking for the endorphin raises as well. So me talking to you guys about this, and this might go out to, if it changes one person's life,
Yeah.
we've done our jobs.
Yeah. And that's what it's about.
I've done the raw side of it, done the initial bit where I didn't know what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
Now I know what's going on in my life. This is me.
It sounds proper scary though as well, because like you're saying, 6-month cycle, it could be longer or that.
Yeah.
That's not going to change, is it?
No.
For life. That's, and that's a big thing to deal with, isn't it? Really?
I've done a lot of reading about PTSD, and some people say that it can be cured.
That was going to be one of my next questions.
I would love it to be cured. I'll give anything not to do this.
Yeah.
Not to go through what I go through. But not everybody can be cured. You can work on one trauma, and then that then brings another trauma up.
So that's all via therapy.
Yeah.
You could have through talking and that. Yeah.
And talking helps really, because sometimes you might just be stuck in that rut of going, I just want to talk to someone.
Yeah.
I just need to talk to someone. I just need to let my feelings are this. I'm feeling this today because, I didn't sleep last night, and that might bring you out of it,
Yeah.
But it's when you can't talk to someone.
No,
when
that's
you're
it.
feeling alone. I have done stupid things. I have tried to take my own life. I have tried on your own.
Yeah.
And you're stuck in a hole. But it's always you've got to have a protective factor in your life to keep you safe. So
Yeah.
if someone's struggling out there, guys or girls, find your protective factor and stick to that and cling on to that. Never forget that.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that's saved me is having that protective factor.
Yeah.
And that is my daughter, Evie.
Yeah.
She's been with me since day one.
Yeah.
I mean, my other daughter, Isabel, fantastic. And the thought of leaving my daughter without a dad
Yeah.
was enough for me to go, I can't go through it.
Yeah.
I've sat in my garage with a noose around my neck, ready to go. I just couldn't take that step. And that's the reason why TalkWorks can't deal with it at the moment, because...
Yeah. But that's scary that you got to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I lost a really good friend of mine back in May,
Yeah.
who was my sergeant. So he was my mentor. He committed suicide.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Larry did back in May. And that had a massive impact on me.
Yeah.
And someone like him who took his life, and wow.
Yeah.
Is that obviously not dipping into that too much because that's somebody else's, but was that, did he have issues as well, or was that just something that...
Yeah.
So he was
a little
struggling.
bit like me, like us,
Yeah.
he was struggling, but no one ever saw. You know what I mean? Only found out through social media that he took his own life. And
It's sad as well, because a lot of people try and hide it. It's one thing I've learned to do. Since I got my diagnosis, I probably do people's head in, to be honest. But I just thought if I'm having a bad day, I'll let people know I'm having a bad day. You know, but
it works for you, though, doesn't
well, yeah,
you know,
it does. Because
finding your way.
but I always say, like, if I wake up and I'm having a bad day, I'm like, I just got to get on with it, get it out of the way. I'm not going to lock myself away. I'm just going to have that bad day.
Yeah.
You know, and I apologise to anyone I've pissed off on my bad day.
Yeah.
But
Apology accepted.
normally the next day's better, you know?
Yeah.
But that's all down to understanding as well.
Again, it's knowing you.
Yeah.
And it's what
You gotta do
works,
you.
you know?
Yeah.
You
You
know,
have.
yeah.
You have got to do you.
I know he texted the day after. Sorry for being a dick yesterday.
Yeah. The grovel.
My work get it all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
The grovel
Oh,
message.
sorry. Yeah.
I think we've all done many.
Yeah. And you think, oh, yes, don't worry, Ross, we know you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not right.
You've talked about therapy and all these other bits. What about medication?
Medication. Okay. Hate medication. So I was put onto mirtazapine, which is a antidepressant, 2016. You know, that's almost 10 years I've been on that for. I'm on the highest dose of mirtazapine you can take. With medication, I think it has a place. I definitely do believe that has a place. I think when you are unwell at the start, it just gives you that little bit of breathing space. Gives you that little bit of time just to reflect. You know what I mean? You know, it does make you feel a bit numb. It takes away some feelings which you need to process. You know what I mean? But when you're unwell, it just gives you that little bit of time. It gives you time
Right.
to sleep. It gives you time to think about what's going on. Things to see the bigger picture. You know what I mean? You know, I've been on it for such a long time now where I'm a little bit anxious about coming off
Yeah.
because I don't want to expose myself to all those emotions again too much.
Do you almost feel like you're sort of dependent on it as well?
I'm very much addicted to mirtazapine.
Yeah.
Very much addicted to
And
it.
that's obviously what's making you anxious because you won't know yourself before that.
You know, I've tried coming off it quite a few times.
Yeah.
I tried like breaking it in half, taking it in half and going to see the doctor about reducing the medication, and then something happens and I'm back on to, you know, high doses again. Or I get anxious about, I get down to like the last 4 tablets and I haven't restocked my medication, thinking, oh my God, I need to get, you know, and then it's a big circle again of.
Do you find that I get it with my ADHD meds? Like on one of these, as soon as I get a thing I can get my meds in, I'll go for it. And I've got a stock, because if I run out, I'm not saying I'm reliant because I can give or take them, but it does make you anxious if you haven't got them there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because obviously you're on them meds for a reason and they help, don't they?
Yeah.
So you don't want to run out.
No. Like I say, medication, it serves a purpose. They use mirtazapine more in PTSD. There was a study years ago saying that it works better than all the other, like sertralines and all the other medication out there. There's obviously negative side effects with any antidepressants.
Yeah,
You know,
there is.
weight gain is one.
I agree with that.
You know, I constantly, I constantly battle with my weight, going for the gym all the time. But you know, you're seeking more carbohydrates, more food, more fat, because that's what it does.
Yeah,
depending on it. So if I go away for a work meeting or away, I'd need to make sure my medication's in that bag.
Yeah.
And if it's not, then I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you start getting anxious about
So
it.
I've got more in my car. I got more in my van. I got little emergency pots.
Yeah.
So I
you've
know
hid
that.
them everywhere.
Yeah, because I know that if I'm away
Yeah,
and I need one, then I'm
And
on
although
one.
you could probably miss a dose and miss a couple of doses and you probably wouldn't even notice until,
no.
but your mind, and
I'm awake.
I'm the same with mine. It's, I hate medication.
Yeah.
It's the last thing I wanted to be on, but I had to come to the decision that, okay, let's try it. And I think it has helped. I still hate being on meds now. I hate having to take a tablet every day. I hate my body, but I've come to the fact of like, you know, I couldn't give a shit anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I have to take it for the rest of my life, I'll take it. And I always think to myself, God, I've been on these X amount of years now. I'm going to start reducing it. I'm going to start. And people say to me like, is there an issue? Just keep taking it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, is it doing that much harm to you? Is it putting you in a better place? And then I sit there and I think, actually, no, not really. It's sort of, it must be helping me because I am better. So then that's how I come to, I'm like, sod it, I'll just take it. So I just take it every day, every morning. I take it and just get on with it. I've come to that agreement now, where before I was so up about it. Oh, I've got to take that, and I don't want to take it anymore. I might come off it now, or I might reduce it now. And I've got friends who reduce their medication or come off their medication, and then they're back on it within 2 weeks. They just, they saw a difference in their mood and their body. And I don't want to be like that. And like you said, I don't want to go back to where I was, because that was hell for me.
Yeah.
And I do not want to go. And that's the scary part is, do I want to come off my meds and risk being back there and then having to go back on it and start on that process again? Because it was a good 7 weeks before these meds kicked in.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Yeah. And at my lowest, I ended up being on diazepam for 2 weeks just to help my mind settle before my meds kicked in. Amazing tablet. Absolutely amazing. But at the same time, I was numb. I didn't care about nothing. I had no feelings. I had no love. I had no interest in my children or anything like that. So I have come to the decision now, like you saying, you hate medication, but I've just come to the fact, right, if I've got to take a tablet for the rest of my life, I'll do it, and just put up with it, and at least I know that I'm hopefully never going to go back to where I was.
It's scary thinking about that, you know what I mean?
Proper,
It's opening Pandora's box again, even though that you've, managed to put the lid on it. Diazepam, I was on that originally just to get me sleeping.
Yeah.
And then self-meds. I tried all this, I've tried self-medding.
I think that's the worst thing, self-medicating.
But at the start though, when you don't know what's going on, you try, I tried cannabis.
Yeah.
No good for me. Absolutely not. It sends me the other way. Sitting paranoid in my room. So that didn't help. Diazepam, I would self-med that. That's not the route. You know what I mean? If you're going to do that, if you want medication, you go down the correct route.
Seek the professionals.
100%.
But obviously you seek the professionals, you've got to want to help yourself.
Yeah.
And getting that understanding as well. You can't just go to the doctors and be like, I need medication. Well, what do you need medication for?
Yeah.
Got to explain your symptoms as well, haven't you?
Absolutely. And then they won't give it firsthand now. They would try to give you the trauma therapy first.
Yeah.
But, on the other hand, it's good to have it at the same time as that therapy.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a little bit of time to think about your therapy and get you through that first initial therapy.
Yeah.
Because when you go through PTSD therapy, like you say, they open up all your feelings. They open up that door. And my therapist, the way she says it, is the airing cupboard is full of towels. At the moment, you are shutting that. So, you don't open that cupboard up. But with therapy, they teach you to open that cupboard, and all those towels are your memories.
Yeah.
And that's when they try to teach you how to, file them back into nice orders in your airing cupboard. You know what I mean? And, you've got to be willing to do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes a medication will help you release and open that door.
Yeah.
So medication does work.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm nearly 10 years into it now, and am I ready to come off it? Not yet.
No. And that's good. It's good to be in that mindset of, I'm not ready.
No.
It's good that you're in that mindset where you can tell yourself, I ain't ready to come off this yet.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And that all comes down to understanding, though, doesn't it?
100%.
I know I keep saying that. It's my favourite word.
It honestly does.
No, it's true.
You've got to understand yourself.
No, it
If
is.
you don't understand it, you ain't gonna know.
And for the people that are struggling out there, they've got to learn to understand.
This is the importance. Like, I reiterate to people, like when people ask me about ADHD and autism, I'm like, educate yourself. Like, I can talk about it, but unless you want to learn it and understand, it's pointless me talking about it. You've got to educate yourself, and then when you've got that understanding, it's going to put you on a better better path. Sorry,
you've got to go down that rabbit hole, haven't you?
Yeah,
you've got to go in there and like you said, it'd make you a better person, knowing about yourself,
definitely,
and how you can carry yourself.
Yeah, you got to do it for yourself as well. Sometimes you got to put yourself first.
Yeah,
and we've all got families here.
And that's
You know,
hard,
you know,
sometimes that's
and
hard,
You've got to look after number one, and number one's you.
Yeah.
Because if you can't look after number one, you're not going to look after your family very well, you know. So you got to get yourself sorted out. You've got to get yourself therapy. You've got to research about your diagnosis.
That's one of the hardest things, isn't it? Like for me, I always want to be the best version of me.
Yeah.
But like being the best version of you is really hard sometimes, you know. There's a lot of obstacles in the way in life, you know, and stress and whatnot. But you just got to keep plodding along and learning and doing the best you can, you know, and that's all you can do, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like you said, well, earlier about going to the gym, doing something like sometimes you have to get to know your bad self or worse self or whatever that is and go like, this is not good. Like sometimes you have to do something like you said when you know, like you said, you did something stupid, you know, with talk work thing. I'm like, it's just you're going through a journey and you're going through what you're going through. And it's like, actually, it's not stupid. It's like you're trying to find a way. Like this is with all of this, you're trying to find a way to be able to cope with what you're going through. But you've got that, like you said, that protective with your daughter to have that connection to go, this is not worth it, you know? And like say, knowing yourself, so like knowing your worst self, but knowing this is what you have to do right now. Like this is a part of your life where you're at, where you're on the medication, you know, it's a supporter as much as it's hated. Like someone said to me, they were like, I hate it. And it's like, you know, what would you say to someone else if they were going for it? You're like, no, you know, if this is really helping you, you know, stick with it. Like, you know, you don't know how long it's going to go on you. You might have a day where you go, that's it. Or like, you know, go, right, I'm going to find a way where no more.
Yeah.
But it's like right now, this is your supporter, and it's like every avenue you're going to go like, okay, that didn't work. Oh, because of this. Okay, right, I'm going to sort that out. Like I, do you know what? I'm going to go down this track. Like this is step one or step two. You know, kind of go right. This is the way I've got to go.
Yeah.
That worst self to best self as such to go, well, this helps me. I'm just going to do this. Okay, right. That helps me. All right. I do it enough. I'm going to do this as well, you know, like so.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and people need to think there's always tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today you might have failed or it might not be working out for you today, but there's always tomorrow. If you just get through the night.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you can think about taking your own life, there's always tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a better day, you know, and I wish my mate Larry did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's a better day, you know what I mean? You know, today you're in crisis, today is you're in the hole.
Yeah.
Find your happy place, find the people that are supportive, and then start again tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's so important, you know, and that,
definitely.
if you can think that way, it's really hard to think that way when you're in the hole, but
Yeah.
take a breather and just tomorrow, try again.
Yeah, definitely.
It really helps, you know, try again. Yeah.
Definitely.
Bit deep, that one, isn't
100%. No,
But that's what we're here
that's how
for,
I
isn't it?
think. Like
Yeah.
I always say to people, no storm lasts forever. I mean, it might come back, and that's what people forget.
Yeah.
And like it is. That's why I always say life's a roller coaster because it's so up and down, isn't it? You know, and that's the scary thing about life.
And that's it. You know, you don't want to lose anyone, or you don't want anyone to go or to die. And it is really challenging, and it's, you know, because you're connected to, and you know, and I know people that have like died. It's like I've still got that connection with them, but it's changing the connection with, like, you know, that because they meant something. You know, you didn't want them to go physically, but they're still here in your heart.
Yeah.
But it's being able to bring that forward and go, okay, why did that matter? You know, why does that matter so much?
Again, it's understanding, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's understanding it all.
That's the word of the day.
Understanding.
Understanding.
It really,
Yeah.
really, really is.
Yeah.
You know, and only you can go and find that understanding.
Probably can't even spell it. No, I think I can. I think I can.
Don't
Just
lie.
about. Just about.